Thank you, Dr. Kumar. It's a privilege and honor to be in your course, a very well sought after course. Now, I thought we'll start off from where we left. This is not my original presentation, but I'll just talk about the capsular hooks. Now, this is a case where this is a 16-year-old girl who had a traumatic subluxation. You can see it's a large subluxation, but traumatic subluxations have an advantage that the rest of the zonules are intact. I'll just try to show you briefly the capsular hooks which we are talking about. Now, we are planning a Sioni rings, so we made a tunnel for the Sioni, and this is the capsular hook which goes in. As soon as I made my initial opening into the capsule, we put one hook to stabilize. You see this angle over here. This keeps the traction in the pupillary plane, or in the lens equatorial plane rather. And then we can complete the rexus and go ahead and put, this was a soft cataract, so we put some more hooks, and maybe here I'll show you. Yeah, that is the final position what you have. So this is what I wanted to show over here, and so we will go on to the next video, which is my actual presentation. Right. Okay, I'll just pause. Can I just have a show of hands? How many of you use trypan blue under air over here? Good, let's watch this video then. I used to do that too. Now, this is, I've been doing that for many years now. I have no financial interest in complications. This is my standard technique: a hard, mature cataract, air injected, trypan blue goes in under the air, gentle, spreads very easily, uniformly all over the place. Very happy. I've been doing it for many years, never had a problem with this. The air is replaced with viscoelastic, and now let's see what happened. Then this is a lovely rexus which goes on. Nothing extra to show over here, but because of paucity of time, we'll just move ahead. Now this is a case where we had ran into a bit of a problem. So same air into the anterior chamber, trypan blue, and now see what happens when the cannula is exiting the eye. The air escapes a little, and there, I have a nick. Now this is going to cost me very dearly. Let's look at this in slow motion. There, the air escapes, and there's a nick. This is a hard cataract. It was a tough call for me on the table. Patient's demands are always there, and you need to take care of your nerves. I thought I'll give it a shot if I could complete the capsular rexus. Otherwise, in fact, this was incidentally chosen for the challenging cases symposium in ASCRS in 2013 in San Francisco. So I did manage to complete the capsular rexus very deeply. If you can see, this is a Dr. Haldi Kupurkar's rexus forceps, a wonderful device. If you've not used it, you must try it. It's a wonderful device. It gives you absolute control on a capsular rexus in this situation. Now, to stabilize the lens, I put in a bit of heel on, and I just left it over there by oversight, and you see what happens. The moment I impale the nucleus with a bit of more energy, I am having a wound burn over here. It's turned white, milky white. I had very little choice. Now that I've created the wound burn, there is no backing off. I have to complete this case anyway. So I didn't want to bail out yet. So we go ahead and complete. It's a heroic surgery, no doubt. But let's look at the wound burn. It's a fish mouth thing. It's horrible. I put in a lens. It's still a heroic surgery because I managed to put in a lens into the sulcus over the rexus rim. And I was very happy with the centration of the lens, very stable lens, no issues. But this wound burn was going to be nightmarish. So there we are. It goes in perfectly, centered, dialed. So that means our rexus rim is fairly intact except for that tear over there. Now I had to put two sutures over here. I had very little choice. That gave me an awful astigmatism, which I regret till date. And now. So, good judgment comes from experience, and unfortunately, experience comes from bad judgment, like we saw. So, a little pearl, for those who are still using trypan blue under air, maybe you could switch over to this. What we've done is, it's very easy to use the same cannula also, but what I've done is I've just modified a Fogla cannula, which is used in Dalk, a wonderful thing again, wonderful invention by Rajesh Fogla. So, what we've done is, it's got an anterior vault. We just added one more hole, a bottom hole, and now this takes care of the trypan blue to be stained on the capsule. It's got a blunted tip, an anterior vault, so aligning to the capsule curvature. So that's how the trypan blue would escape. And inject viscoelastic and use this cannula. You could use a regular Fogla cannula, so one hole is good. And then we just use the capsule, the trypan blue in a painting manner and under the viscoelastic, whatever viscoelastic you choose to use. Only things you need to leave this trypan blue over there for about a minute, and then the staining is fairly good. Though it's a bit patchy, it is good enough to make the transparent capsule pretty visible for a good capsular excess. And then we can easily do our capsule, so at least I'm not going to have a nick this time. Well, this we did manage to complete pretty well, as we can see over here. So that's my take-home message. If you want to take home that, I'd rather suggest that you switch over to trypan blue on the viscoelastic. Thank you very much for your kind attention.